Hey guys, and welcome to FanCast. We're very grateful to be recording from the historic St Kilda Sports Club, the oldest locker room in the Southern Hemisphere. Join us on the bench, where we talk all things footy. We're fans, and this is FanCast. G'day FanCasters, and welcome to another episode here on the pod, where we have a proper footy chat. Steveo, how are you, mate?
Doing good as always, Joe. How are you?
Doing very well. Doing very, very well. Especially when I'm joined by another Essendon supporter here on the bench. Mates, it's been a while since I've had an Essendon supporter that I can fall in love with so quickly. And talking off the air, it was great. We are joined by Slam from SlamTalksSports. How are we, Slam?
I'm very good, Joe. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. I feel like the thorn between two roses here, between a Hawthorn and Essendon fan.
Oh, jeez.
And naturally, as my debutant, I'm on the bench as well. But
That's
it's
it.
an absolute pleasure to be here with you two fine gentlemen.
I did not see that incredible opening. Did you rehearse this?
I've been only waiting my whole life for it.
I think that's the best opening speech I've ever heard.
Absolutely. Can we have him take on the openings now, the introductions?
Not a chance, Joe. Not a chance.
How you been, man?
I've been good. Watching a lot of football as always.
Yes.
Keeping up with the Essendon Football Club. But just been enjoying my time and watching what's been a good year of footy. Unfortunately, I thought it was one of the most boring rounds of footy for the whole season.
Yes.
So naturally, you got me on to talk about it, which I appreciate.
Worst round to bring you on.
No, it's because the football was so bad that we had to get someone so good to offset this.
It makes a lot of sense to me now.
It's how it works, So yeah, it was top 9 versus bottom 9 this week, and the bottom 9 really were bottoming out, aren't they?
Yeah.
Apart from one that we got right last week in the tipping, I was very pleased about that. Who did you tip last week?
I don't remember, but I remember going free. I got all other 8 correct, but.
So you got that one wrong. I got
did.
that one right.
Yeah,
Get around me. I had a feeling they were due a loss. But other than that, it was quite one-sided this weekend. I agree.
Yeah, it was a pretty predictable round of footy. And I'm finding that you got a lot of these games which are not dead rubbers, but between two teams that are not going to be fighting for the 8, which does sort of bring down my appreciation for the rest of the season. I hope it ends with a bang rather than a whimper, because I'm a bit worried about that.
Yeah. Well, there are some teams, though, that really needed to win. Like now, in the grand scheme of things, that Freo loss really does open the door, for potentially a bungling out, really, and not being able to make it in, especially if the Giants can continue to keep winning now, because they're on equal points with 6th, which is the Bulldogs, but their percentage is not that great. So that loss could have opened up a really big, I suppose, flaw there, trap door for Longmuir. You reckon he's under a bit of pressure now, Steve-O?
Yeah, for sure. I think the goal of the start of the season was to make finals for Freo, and they're just not living up to the. Well, they are living up. No.
They're a tease, aren't they?
They're like in the middle of what we sort of wanted. There's still a bit of Freoism in there.
Yeah.
Of like they've won 10 games and they're still out of the 8 after 17 rounds, which is very Freo-like.
Yes.
But I think it's as simple as they got to make finals, and if they don't, I don't think you can continue with Longmuir, I would have thought.
Jeez, a few coaches. The coaching merry-go-round continues. If he doesn't make it, and we think Voss isn't going to make it, so that's now 2 coaches up there. We know Hinkley's gone into the year, so that's 3 potential coaches out in one season. Pretty crazy. And you have a few out there doing media, like Simpson, the Horse, Longmire. Then Buckley was a previous coach. People aren't devoid of options if they were to sack their coach, you'd imagine.
No, it's a bit like the ruck merry-go-round, the coaching merry-go-round.
Yeah.
There will be a couple of options for people to move across sides. But just getting back to Freo, they'd won 6 games in a row before this loss. Did anyone think they were a 7-win-in-a-row side?
No.
But they'd beaten okay
Certainly
teams.
6, but not 7.
They'd beaten the Suns, they'd beaten the Giants.
Yeah.
They'd beaten teams that had to put themselves up to the ladder.
Yeah.
But it's still, there's not that lot of confidence that they can go further than this. They might max out at 7th to 8th.
Yeah, because we've seen what happened last year when the pressure was on to make finals, and they just completely capitulated towards the end of the season. And there's a bit of Freoism about winning 14 games and missing out on the 8.
There's a bit of Fugazi, I don't know. We were saying they got Shea Bolton across the line, and now all of a sudden it's just that last piece of the puzzle that will elevate them and get them over the top. Oh, really, is Shea Bolton going as good as we hoped that he would, or that we thought he was going to be going?
I think it's just the player that he is. There's ups and downs, ebbs and flows. He's still made a big impact and has made Freo a better side, but the consistency has always been a problem in this game, and I think he's due for a breakout game for Freo. Might be on Saturday night against the Hawks. That's a absolute 8-pointer right there.
Absolutely. Because I don't think he's lived up to the expectation, personally.
You don't reckon?
I don't think he has.
I think with Bolton, he's there as the cherry on top. If they make finals, he can be the game breaker.
Yeah.
He's the one that's proven to win premierships in the past.
Yeah.
But on Sundays, we saw it was the leaders which let them down. It was the likes of Caleb Strong, which had really poor games.
Yes.
So I know Bolton didn't touch the ball, was Steve, for about 40 minutes in that game. I know his Supercoach owners were upset with what was going on Sunday. But I don't put too much pressure on Bolton right now. But if they don't make finals, obviously, there was a big trade to get a lot of assets to get him.
Yes.
But if they can get to the finals, he's the type of player that can rip apart a big one.
Right. So we're still holding, we're calling the Jets. No premature judging there on him. I don't know, because I just remember our game against him. And he was very chirpy and he was getting in the face.
He could have kicked 5, but he didn't.
But he didn't. And he got caught on the ball like 3 times.
I know. His mind wasn't in the game. I agree with that.
You know, like if you're paying big bucks or you're giving up some capital to get a guy of his ilk across, there should be certain demands, I suppose, and standards. And, you know, yes, he might not be, you know, part of the senior leadership, I suppose, and in an official capacity. But if you're recruiting some big name players that you're hoping to get you over the line, you'd hope to see, I think, a bit more out of him. Maybe, you know, in finals, it comes to light that he does in fact be the game winner. But what happens if they don't make finals?
Well, then there's a lot of pressure on him. I agree with that.
So a bit of pressure there on the Fremantle Dockers. We'll start with the Thursday night game. I mean, there was no real pressure on any of these two teams, really.
Before we get into the round, I just find it very funny that this round was so dead that the media is talking about the previous week's topics.
Which is like the touching of the umpiring?
Yeah, and like Carlton again.
Oh, yeah.
When there was not much expectation on them on Friday night, I just found it funny.
Yeah, it really was quite an interesting week of football. We'll just say that, I suppose.
We got a good one coming up this week.
This week is going to be a bit harder to predict.
Yes. Big boy week, they're calling it.
Yeah. What did Dimmer say at Richmond back in the day?
Big boy month?
Big boy month. Yeah, big boy month.
This is what they've got. They had to win. They had to beat us, and they did in very convincing fashion. As did the Doggies on Thursday night against North in their 100th year anniversary. So happy birthday to North Melbourne. Hope you blew out all your candles. And because, your season was snuffed out as well in a really big way by the Doggies. But I thought they were very competitive until they weren't. Like, it was a close game.
It was.
How good was it to watch Nick Larkin in that first quarter?
Unreal.
Until he stuffed up his knee and, that shot any chance of North winning that game.
He could have had 5 at quarter time.
Easily. Like, he was dominant. A lot of it was with the Dogs' positioning. Like, they were playing way too in front of him in an aggressive way. Yeah. But Larky's one of the great forwards in this competition. He was putting it on the scoreboard in the first half. And eventually, as you said, things started to deteriorate in the second half, and the Doggies got a bit more control of the game with their class. Yeah.
Like, it's so crazy. I don't know. North Melbourne, they weren't really given much of a chance because they had some people out as well this week. Like, Parker was out of the side, and obviously Wardlaw was out of the side. So this midfield mix.
Comben as well. Really hurts them.
Is so important in that, especially against Sam Darcy. And Norton had a really good game, but I thought Sam Darcy was completely destroyed. He
was blanketed for really the first half. He didn't kick a goal. He kicked 3 really much in junk time in that game.
Correct.
Yep.
It was insane how well they did. I thought Sam Darcy was going to kick a bag at least, but kudos to them. They really tried hard. They did their research and getting him under the ball, tunneling him a little bit.
I feel like they should pay 10 free kicks for Darcy every week.
Yeah. I was watching that game and I was just thinking, where are the frees for Darcy? There's been about 6 instances where he should have gotten the free, but.
Yeah, North Melbourne and the umpires did very well against him.
That's the only way to stop him. You just got to hope that they don't blow the whistle.
Pretty much.
It was a great tag team partnership there between the umpires and North Melbourne. Now, I won't say that it was entirely one way. Like, Zerha in the last quarter, that was either a mark or front on contact, whichever one you want to pay, was clear as day a free kick. And there were periods of time I'm thinking, is this Zerha or is this Glenn Archer? Like, what the hell is going on? He was channeling the great man in this game. And for periods of time, it looked like they genuinely could have stolen it, but they just didn't have the firepower on the ground, unfortunately.
No, I think really in the second half, their inability to exit D50 is what bugged them down. They kept turning the ball over, and that set up the Doggies' lead.
Yeah.
And obviously the class of like your Bontempellis. Liberatore in game 250 had 170 Supercoach points.
Yeah,
Career best.
Had like 25.
Career
Best game of his career.
Game of his career on the night of his career.
No, he's been a tremendous player, Lib, over the journey, hasn't he?
He's been so good. Yeah, very, very impressive. So the Dogs continue to destroy the bottom 8 sides.
It's what they do. And they don't beat the good ones, but they absolutely thrash the bad ones.
It's insane.
Yep.
Are they just a pure definition of flat track bullies?
Well, I guess it's a good test this week. Mm-hmm. But from what it seems like at the minute it is, and they get the opportunity this week to change that narrative.
I don't think they've beaten a side in the top 8.
They beat the Giants and that's it.
Yep.
Oh,
The
they
Giants
are
are
8th. Yeah, they're 8th. So they have beaten a side in the 8. 1.
That's it.
But if Freo leapfrogged the Giants, that's now changed.
Oh, Freo. Now I wish you won on the weekend. Would have that point would have
Would
stood.
have given us a title.
Exactly. Flat track doggies. The flat track doggies. So, yeah, well done
Well,
to
you
them.
could still say flat track bullies.
You can still say it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
bullies,
they've only won
Bulldogs.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
missed that one. Well done. Well done. Now, the thing is, I don't even know if I'm supposed to applaud you on your puns these days, because last week's pun I thought was wonderful and you didn't even mean it. And I was applauding you for it, and you had no idea that I was applauding him for
What
it.
was a brilliant pun last week?
I forgot.
About something about if someone wants to buy a bus or something because your dad knows how to, he was a driver of some sort and he was behind the wheel and he knows how to drive, something like that. And I thought, oh, that's very good. Yes, he's behind the wheel because he was a driver. But then you had no idea.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Far
It
out.
was so clever you can't remember it.
It was too clever. It was way too
It's
clever.
very rare to outpun Joe, so I'll absolutely take it.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I appreciate that. Very rare to
Before we move on to the next game, what do we think of Dennis Pagan's rev up?
Oh, wonderful.
A lot of you boys got a lot to answer for.
War without weapons is what he would say. Yeah, you got him fired up.
Yeah.
That first quarter, I think it had an impact.
It did.
Yeah, it went really well, that speech, for 3 quarters.
They needed to get him out again at 3/4 time.
Yeah.
It's true. You need to wheel him back out.
They needed to wheel him back out again.
He's not that old.
He's had a bit of a drink in the
Well, I think he had
meantime.
a couple of beverages in the meantime.
Oh,
He
yeah,
was on
yeah.
the team.
Yeah.
All right, if it's not Pagan, who else would you get? Surely there was someone else in the crowd that you could, a different voice, a different message to get them over the line.
Maybe not Wayne Carey.
I was about to say Wayne Carey would be the perfect person to get out there at 3/4 time. White line fever, baby. Then move to the team that keeps on giving, the gift that keeps on giving, that is the Carlton Blues. You can't say blues without the word lose if you pay attention.
Lose.
The Blues, they did lose. They lost in a big way on the weekend. And
Be careful, Terry might come after you.
hey, it's a fact. It's a fact. The Blues lost, and they are feeling very miserable at this point in time, aren't they?
They are. It feels like they're in a worse position they were in the last 20 years because they've got the talent. They've got the top end talent at least.
Yep.
But it feels like the club is so stuck in this period of mediocrity and they're unsure how the hell to get out of it.
And the problem is they don't have much time to get out of it because it seems like they've resigned to the fact that Voss isn't the coach. I feel like Voss himself.
Why they still got him? That's what it doesn't make sense to me. What's the point of having him if you know he's not the right coach?
Yeah, I don't know either. I also think it's really interesting at the start of the game, Voss wasn't sitting in his seat in the coach's box.
He was sitting on the stairs.
He was sitting on the stairs on the side.
the second stair.
And I was looking at it, I was like, who is the coach and who sent you into timeout naughty corner? Because he honestly looked so depressed and sad, sitting on the second rung ladder, the stairs.
You got to mix it up.
I don't know what happened. And he was sitting there on the floor with no headset on, just dejected and sad at the start of the game. Like, guys, be up and about, be energetic. This is your chance. Come out, hit the ground firing. And they did. But it was really weird. It just feels like it's all the pressure's getting to him as well.
The body language from Voss has been weird for at least a couple of weeks now. Because as you mentioned, he's sitting on the stairs. But I think the Carlton fans, their anger comes from the press conferences, him smiling, him acting like there's nothing wrong. When they're bleeding this emotion, you can feel it from the listeners, the watchers. They just...
Dwayne's World.
I didn't mind a bit of Finey's final siren on Tuesday night. On Friday night. They were calling them to sack the entire list. Keep Jagger Smith the only player they haven't seen yet, so he's the only one that can stay.
Exactly.
So
they're not being harsh. At least they're keeping him. They're giving him a chance. They're giving him a chance before they can judge him.
Give him a chance to come in 1 year, then move him on. See what he can do.
Exactly. No, honestly, it's the uproar is very palpable in terms of what's happening there at Carlton, but it just doesn't feel like it's translating on field because the game's starting and Charlie Curnow is high-fiving Darcy Moore.
It gives such a bad optics for your football club when you're high-fiving your direct opposition in a game that they shouldn't, I don't know if they have to win, but it'll do a tremendous effort to improving what they're looking forward to in the future by beating their arch rival. And then you see stuff how they play. It's just the disconnection from their forward line to their midfield. There's just so many issues with their game style that it can't be rectified overnight. And as Steve said, I don't understand why Voss is still the coach if they don't think he's the man. Because when you want to get ahead of your next hire.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you when he will go. April 6th. Not April. August 16th.
Wait until next year, are we?
Give him one more chance.
Give him one more chance.
One pre-season and then move him.
Wait till we're fully healthy.
We'll wait for Good Friday. Good Friday football against North Melbourne, and then we sack him.
August 16th is when, August 15th is when Graham Wright becomes the new CEO of the Blues.
Yeah.
Is it CEO or president? I forgot. I'm pretty sure it's CEO.
I think you're right, yeah.
Overtaking Brian Cook, and I think, the following day. Steve Voss will let Ash Hansen deal with the last 2 or 3 games of the season.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't see him out seeing out this season. I trust more than anyone like Graham Wright to nail the coach. He's been so good at Hawthorn, so good at Collingwood. Let's hope that he hasn't got any Carltonisms hanging around. But I guess Carlton you can't trust when picking the right coach. Collingwood had Voss 4th for a reason in their coaching search. So,
Jeez, imagine if Collingwood got Voss instead of McRae.
Yeah. Well, it just showed the differential. Collingwood did their coaching search for so long, and then Carlton did theirs for like 2 weeks. Oh yeah, Voss, you'll do.
That's a name.
Yeah, it's a name. That's what they're looking for. I reckon the perfect fit for Carlton. I know it's another name, but I honestly feel like he's just such an underrated coach, given the amount of shit he gets. Is Ken Hinkley?
I knew.
I think he would
be. Are you reading my journal? I'm telling you, Ken would be a great coach.
Is that your journal?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought it was just the booklet that left over there.
Yeah, I was just happy reading through it. I'm like, this is wonderful. I was like, who's this?
It's all this pro Cacos talk.
I know.
Is there any bedtime stories in there?
We said this on the pod maybe 2 weeks ago. So we shout out Ken Hinkley.
2 weeks ago, I was in Gold Coast.
Last week then.
Oh, last week, yeah.
Jeez, all right. Time flies when you're having fun. It's only for you to be so aggressive towards me.
Oh, I wasn't aggressive. I was
in Queensland.
I was assertive.
That's good enough for me, I guess. Ken Hinkley would be a great. Absolutely, I agree. I think Ken Hinkley would be a great fit right now for this song.
Because I think he's got the right balance of getting the wins on the board and looking to the future. Where I know some people, and I think certain Carlton supporters are looking like an Adam Simpson, who certainly has the runs on the board. But I really didn't like how he wrapped up at West Coast. So I mean, given Carlton have probably got a 2-year window with Cripps, Curnow, Wiedering that tight before they all get too old to have a crack at have one more crack at a premiership. I think Simpson may get bigger chance of Simpson getting you there, but I'm not certain that he'll be in the. I'm not certain that he will be able to put your club in good stead going forward.
So I feel like Ken is obviously used to being in a high pressure environment. I don't know how many times Port Adelaide supporters have wanted him sacked out of Alberton.
Have you seen how relaxed he's been over
But
the past 2 weeks?
he is so relaxed.
He's got the teeth in.
Yep. Yeah, that was amazing.
He's got the veneers in.
It's so good. So he's seeing the lighter side of football now, obviously knowing that he's going to be transitioning out. But I feel like he's made the most of his lists to be able to finish in the top 4 on a consistent basis. Yes, they've never been able to make it to the last dance, but they've made it to a few prelims. They've made it to a few semi-finals, and they've been regular top 4 finishes.
Yep.
In his tenure, and he obviously has a really good winning record. It's around 60% or something.
Yeah.
So he's used to getting the boys to finals. He's used to being under a lot of scrutiny. He's used to not being necessarily liked.
He's used to it now, isn't he?
Exactly.
And no better place than to go to Carlton for it. They're in the news every week, as they should be, and they're a big club, of course. So yeah, I think Hinkley would be the perfect fit.
And if he can somehow, he was. Does he have connections with Choco Williams at all?
Well, I think that would be one of the first things he'd do. You
need to try and poach him, because I do like Adam Simpson as a coach, but his West Coast side was a very kick mark type of team, and I just can't see Carlton being a kick mark team. I don't think they have the skills to pull
Absolutely
that off.
not.
And I think we're past that point as well, where it worked so well a decade ago.
Yeah.
But now, like we've seen Alistair Clarkson having to change his whole philosophy to match up with the modern game. It just doesn't work anymore. And I think I brought this up on the podcast a week or 2 ago as well.
Not 2 weeks ago. You were in Queensland.
Chris Scott got a new batch of assistant coaches. I forgot what year it was. I think it was the year they won the premiership, 2022. And I think there was a lot of criticism regarding his game style. You have Tomahawk, Jazz. You have such an elite forward line. But they were just going so slow. And I'm fairly certain I read something about it. New staff came in and just went, why don't we just go fast? Get it up to Tomahawk quicker. It's
Rocket science.
It's that sort of change. I think it might have been...
groundbreaking discovery.
Man, you put the defenders under pressure? That works?
Impossible. No way.
Well, it worked.
Well, especially when BZT was lined up on Hawkins.
Oh, please, don't remind me. We've eradicated the Tom Hawkins 10 goals era against Essendon, okay?
Now we've got the Jezza. Now we've got the Jezza Cameron 6-goal era.
Please.
Flying on Angus Clark.
I was at that game.
Blackiston.
Blackiston. First time ever in defence. Off to Jezza Cameron you go, son.
It's only got 695.
Oh, jeez. Oh, it's insane.
Oh, I can't play on 42-year-old Kepper Bradley every week now.
No.
In the waffle.
No, you can't. So yeah, a lot of the talking points out of the Carlton Collingwood game were obviously all about Carlton, because it's fun talking about Carlton's demise, but it's also kind of scary how good Collingwood are. And I think that's also part of the reason why people don't want to talk about it too much, is because they did that without Bobby Hill, McCreary, Schultz,
side bottom.
Yeah, Schultz reminds me of like an angry little gnocchi or something. I don't know. Like I just look at him, I just get gnocchi vibes. A little gnocchi. I don't know. I just get vibes from Schultz. I don't know. It's just this is what it looks like to me. I get Minecraft and look at Ollie Wines because he's got a box head.
Yep.
But I get gnocchi vibes from Schultz. Do with it what you will, but yeah, just a little side grenade there. But Collingwood are doing very well.
What AFL player would be a fettuccine?
Oh, you put him on the spot here.
Tim English?
Maybe. I feel like English is more one of those cheese, those cheese that you can peel?
The bigger stringer?
Yeah. I just see that as English pre-peeling.
Yes.
I don't know what you call
hair
it.
as well.
The hair.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. There you go.
Please, like a little crown there.
You can see it.
Yeah.
You can see it.
I'm on the same wavelength.
Say Bombers, man.
We see it differently.
We see shit differently, don't we? So yeah, Collingwood, the team to beat. Staff them, we hate them, and we hope that they can just get super overconfident between now and end of the year, and that someone gets them with their pants down.
I hope so. But just the way it's going, they're going to manage their players the back end of the year. They're going to have a top 2 finish.
Yeah.
They're going to have 2 finals at the G.
Yeah.
So, geez, who's going to topple them?
The furthest they travel is to Marvel.
They still complain about it. They back-to-back home games at Marvel.
Unbelievable.
Injuries, the surface ruined us.
I delivered an Airbnb for 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. The big thing is Collingwood, they're in prime position. Prime position to win number 17 and put them outright first on the premiership list.
Is it a tough... If they do win it, is it a tough pill to swallow? Knowing for so long, because it was always Essendon versus Carlton for 17th, and Collingwood just gone.
It's definitely annoying for sure.
Yeah,
like we've given all these teams a head start, like by being crap for 25 years. We're giving everyone an opportunity to catch up, and it sucks that someone actually has, and they're gonna overtake us. I'm just hoping that our youth can build a dynasty for us, or a dynasty.
Yeah, it's disheartening as a Bombers fan, or even like a Carlton fan, if you put yourself in their shoes. They kind of come for the last 15 years and just overtaken everyone. They've been so consistent.
Yeah.
But all we can worry about is our own team and trying to fix what we've got at Essendon.
Correct.
And that's going to take time as well.
2 years.
2 years.
I really like the look of Essendon in the future. I think I'm finally starting to see a proper foundation there.
Yeah.
That you can build on with certain building blocks. Caddy. You hope Zach Reid stays healthy. You got Nick Martin, Jai Caldwell, Sam Durham, Kako. There's a lot to work with there, and you can just stay patient. Couple more years, and I do got a feeling before the end of the decade, I think Essendon can get it done for a finals win.
Thank you. Hope so.
Easy to say as a Hawks fan.
Very
2-year
easy to
rebuilds.
say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. I recommend.
Like being a Cats fan.
We should have just got rid of Dodoro ages ago, paid that unfair dismissal penalty ages ago, and got Rosa in. Really could have got anybody in. Heck, if we did the job, we probably would do better than Dodoro.
Yeah, just keep drafting 178 centimetre midfielders.
That can't kick.
Yeah, that's the strategy, isn't it? That's what wins in footy.
Exactly. Or this guy's a forward, but he has scope to be a midfielder. Or he's a defender. Oh, he could get inside mid-time, like piss off.
Imagine if he had to do the beef Wellington dish. He would have fucked it up.
Worse than what he did.
Yeah. He would have put the wrong plants in it.
I think that was the case with Beef Wellington to begin with. Hence why that's the joke, mate. There was another game played at the exact same time that I'm not sure too many people were watching. The West Coast Eagles were hosting the GWS Giants. Yeah, that happened. Moving on. No, seriously, no. Like, I'm pretty sure the Eagles supporters were feeling hopeful from this one because there was no Jesse Hogan and there was no Lockie Whitfield.
I don't think there was anyone from Australia watching it.
Why are you saying it that way?
I'm just trying to replay what we said before.
Yeah, so this is not the first time we recorded this segment. We won't say how many times it was recorded. This is just number 2. It's all right. We'll be fine. But the West Coast Eagles supporters, you were saying by the time people decided to tune in.
Well, at halftime of the Collingwood game, probably when people tuned in, there was 6 goals there.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, when the Collingwood game ended and they went over to the West Coast, like, oh, this game's also over. It was a carbon copy of the game in Victoria, just a bit shitter. People didn't really want to watch it.
Correct. 100%. I mean, we called it on the pod last week. We basically said no one's going to watch that one. And then someone in the comments was just like, how dare you talk about this game? It's a 10 out of 10 game. I'm sure they're probably a West Coast Eagles supporter. Ask me now, is it a 0 out of 10 game or is it a 1 out of 10 game? It definitely wasn't 10 out of 10.
The bloke with the glasses is a flog.
You're so arrogant, man.
And I just said, I agree.
I agree. Nah, I love you, Steve. Even if they don't love you, I do.
I'm a dickhead and I know it and I love it and you can't do anything about it.
If you wear it like armor,
I do.
No one can hurt you.
Exactly.
Isn't that what Tyrion Lannister said when he was talking to Jon Snow? Said, "Embrace being a bastard."
Yeah, I have.
You haven't watched? Did you watch Game of Thrones?
I watched the first season and then I heard about season 7 being a terrible ending, so then I stopped.
Fair enough. Did you watch that?
Oh, I watched all of it. I loved it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you even the end of it?
No, of course not. The ending was disgraceful.
Just
But the
absolute
first
disgrace.
6 seasons, peak television.
Just like our game against the Suns. It was peak television right from the start, and then the ending was shit.
It was. That
was Game of Thrones.
Really good until 3/4 time.
Yeah, that was Game of Thrones, but the football edition.
Yep.
I was on the edge of my seat for 3 quarters, and then I wanted to cover my eyes in the last quarter. Such was the destruction that Gold Coast rained down upon us. They were like 3 dragons, like Daenerys. It was like we couldn't do anything to stop it.
Couldn't do nothing. It was, one was Matt Rowell, one was Noah Anderson, and one was Tuke Miller.
Yeah.
The 3-headed dragon in that midfield completely roared all over us, and we were like chickens. I don't know why like chickens, but we were cooked, all right? We were cooked like chicken
We were charcoal
dinner.
by the end of the evening.
Charcoal, that's it. That's what I was thinking. Yes, thank you for saving me there. But the kids are good. The kids are good at the Bombers. Kako with the Rising Star nom this week.
Yes.
Some people, Scoops, probably saying that some of their players were robbed, some other players were robbed. Piss off, mate. He had a great game. Great game. Best game for the club.
Absolutely.
And he's a future star, this one.
I humbly agree. I think trade last year to get Kako and some picks for this year's draft potentially looks really good right now.
100%.
Considering how Kako's played, not the whole year, probably the last month he's coming on.
Yeah.
And also the other kids you mentioned, Nate Caddy, Archer May. We've got a few green shoots, as they say.
Oh, mate. We're shooting up, all right? No. Too soon. Bombers can't be making shooting up jokes.
We're entrenched in the bottom 8.
No, not with that. But the kids, I feel like where we are and where Carlton are is like intersected, because especially where we are on the ladder. But we're the ones going that way, and they're going that way. They're going down.
Yep.
So like it's bad, very bad. So Carlton's going down the escalator, we're going up. And it's one of those like superannuation things. Like, why did you change your superannuation? You know, we're like, well, invest in Essendon Super, not in Carlton Super, because
One club has future draft picks, one club has nothing to look forward to.
exactly. We've got the draft picks, we've got youth, and you've got 12th or 11th on the ladder.
Depreciating assets.
Appreciating assets, 100%. So if you're looking for a team to
Hawthorn
invest
are at the
in,
bottom of the escalator showing that draft pick to Carlton.
yes, you are wrapped as a Hawk.
And then Melbourne are doing the same thing, but there's just nothing in their hand.
Oh, man, Melbourne. No, honestly, Rosa, what a turnaround. What a turnaround. Like, I don't care about talking about this game in particular, other than well done to Gold Coast. Very mature performance. They had to win.
Yes.
They did.
I would just say Noah Anderson was fantastic in this game. See him in the flesh. 30 touches, 2 goals. And at half time, he wasn't doing a whole lot.
Who's had the
No,
10
he's
touches?
done better all.
He's not much impact on the game. He said, I'm going to have 20. I'm going to put the team on my back.
Yeah.
And like Gold Coast, they needed to win this game.
They did.
They had to win last week against the D's as well. And that sets them up for the big opportunities that come.
The big boy month.
And
Absolutely.
that was Noah Anderson's next step in his game was his consistency. And last season he didn't bring his own pillow to the hotel and just didn't show up in away games. White shorts, he hated it. Now he's good every week.
I thought you were being serious for a second there, the way you were delivering this information. Like, he didn't bring his pillow with him. Didn't show up. Like,
It's clearly correct. Now he's bringing his own pillow.
That's it.
Yeah, he's loving life.
he's sleeping better on planes now. I don't know. He's
Yeah.
invested in some neck brace technology. I
He's
don't
listening
know.
to Ashton Hall's podcast.
Or this one.
Actually, it's definitely this one.
Who isn't?
Or Smash Talk Sports, potentially.
All the
Slam
alpha
Talk
males
Sports.
watch this.
Exactly. 100%.
Or listen.
Yes, exactly. So Noah Anderson had a wonderful game. And this was all without Collins.
Yes.
Really important defender for him. Cornerstone of their back line. And obviously no Witsy.
Yep.
So very impressive. Very, very impressive performance. You know, but to be 3 points adrift from us with all of our injuries, maybe some question marks over can they beat the best? They'll definitely have a good test this week against the Pies at People First Stadium. We'll see just how much they put people first, or whether or not they prefer Magpies or not.
Very well scheduled, that game.
Yes.
School holidays.
Oh.
Well, it's what they do every year for people to travel up to Gold Coast to watch the footy. They always
So
put Collingwood.
they make it up to Collingwood. I'm sorry, Collingwood, for making you travel up to Gold Coast. How about we make it up to you by allowing you to get access to Wet and Wild and Movie World and Dream World?
$3
Just
super
home
pass.
game. $3 super pass.
Still great value.
Yeah, just so that your kids can at least enjoy a trip up there. Yes, it's not the MCG, but hey, it's Gold Coast.
They do it every year. It's
year.
hilarious.
Bloody bastards, honestly. But yeah, so our kids are good. All it took was Rosa to come in, and dare I say it, I said this earlier in the year, and it's ringing true now. These injuries are the biggest blessing in disguise that we could have possibly have had. We weren't contending this year.
Absolutely not. At best, we fall into 8th or 7th and lose the elimination final by 10 goals, which is usually the script for us.
Classic.
But instead, we've got exposure to these young players, even like you mentioned, the ones that played really well on the weekend, but Angus Clark, Zach Johnson, and there's other players that haven't debuted yet. And the injuries, like some of them are crucial players, some of the players that might get moved on in a year or so's time. So, and then there's no real pressure as well with these young players coming in, which has really helped the club because you'll see at Carlton, all the pressure from the outside, external fan base, it's kind of seeping into the playing group as well. We don't really have that at the moment at Essendon.
No, we don't. I don't think we've blooded any kid that's looked poor or overwhelmed or not at the level.
I agree.
I feel like every single kid that we've played has played a role and played it decently well. Even Vigo last week, who played his first game against, yes, he got destroyed by Jackson, but I don't think anyone would say that this kid's a bad player.
No.
Everyone will say that this kid, yes, first game, 19 up against the Premier Ruck. Yeah, he got owned, but you can see that there is a future for this kid. And I feel like every one of the players that we've blooded this year, all of them have got great promise and potential.
Well, that's what you got to. That's what you got to do. You got to find out about your list, and you get a bigger scope as to, all right, who's legit, who's not up to it, and it makes their decision easier come the end of the year.
Yeah.
So the way the Essendon youngsters have been going, they're going to be a couple of unlucky fellas that don't make the list.
Yeah.
For 2026, which is a good problem to have.
Absolutely, it should be about picking the best of the best and being ruthless with some of your list calls.
Have to be
ruthless, and that's what the best teams do.
Who would come to mind as guys you'd delist?
Perkins.
I don't,
Piss him off. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm done with Archie.
surely Nick Cox's time's up.
Well, Cox,
I don't.
Yeah, announced earlier today with the concussions. So yeah, for the rest of the season.
Oh shit! Really?
Next year it'll be revisited. But from what I've heard, that the concussions are going to get the best of him, unfortunately, which is a shame for a top 10 draft pick.
Yeah, they haven't. Oh, so they haven't medically retired him
No,
yet.
he met with the concussion panel, but they haven't medically retired him yet.
They've medically timed him out for this week, for this year.
Yeah, fair enough.
Bit of a timeout there. So I think, Perkins, I think, has got big question marks. Obviously, Elijah Sardis maybe has his paper stamped. I think Alwyn Davey Jr.'s got his paper stamped.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, he'd be done.
I think John Menzies got his paper stamped.
Yeah.
I reckon Sheely might have his paper stamped.
Yeah.
I don't know if Goldstein goes around for year.
Surely not.
For year 23,000.
I wouldn't have thought if we have enough rucks on the list, do you need him as your 4th string ruck?
The question is, will we have all of those rucks
It's
on
a
the
good
list?
point because they're all out of contract.
They're all out of contract this year, even him. They're all out of contract.
Cap space, it's ready.
It's literally any ruckman, hey, it's up for grabs here. It all comes down really to what Draper decides.
It does.
It all comes
He's the
down to
first
Draper.
domino.
Yeah, absolutely. If Draper stays, excellent. We keep him. We sign him for whatever the contract is, which is not quite as much as what everybody else is offering. It means that he's buying into the club. It means that he's committed. It means that, we're sort of calling the bluff or whatnot. Because I don't know. Realistically, our club's really going to spend a lot of money on someone who's just done his Achilles and who's an athletic ruck, reliant on that athleticism.
And that's what hurts you when you do your Achilles.
Exactly.
Your athletic ability. So if I'm Essendon, I wouldn't be overpaying for Draper. I think there will be a couple of teams out there that might, like Adelaide or Brisbane. But no, when I say overpay, I don't like he's a good player, but I think you've got enough promising guys to back in.
850?
I wouldn't pay 850.
800?
700 tops.
700 tops.
In my opinion.
Yeah, he's walking out.
Well, he'll leave then.
He's walking out for sure.
Yeah, that's fine. Nick Bryan, I know he's not going to be there to start the year. You're going to have a crack at Vigo Vizentini. You don't need a top dollar ruckman
No.
to get the job done. You just need a body.
It's been proven.
It's been proven every bloody year, which is why St Kilda, oh my God, what are they doing? Oh, they never cease to amaze me.
There is a St Kilda merchandise going around just once in my life, winning a flag.
There wouldn't be many of them left.
If they're spending 1.7 mil a year on a ruck,
Yuck.
how are you affording to pay for Nazaya?
That's the question. They got to sign Nazire as well.
Well, I mean, yeah, if Nazire signs, stuff the TDK contract just because he was unreal. I know we need to get to that game, but yeah.
Unreal. But yeah, interesting place at the Bombers, but mostly optimistic is what we'll say. And optimism at the Suns as well. We'll see what happens this week against the Pies to a real test for him. Geelong beat Richmond at GMHBA. Is there anything we can learn from this game?
Very unfortunate with Sam Lawler.
Very
2 minutes in. Paul Zasami is out for the season.
And they were conservative with him. They gave him the extra week off as well.
Yeah, I usually like Kane Corns. I like what he says, but I don't know why I thought it was a non-conservative approach with Lawler.
What, giving him an extra week off was non-conservative?
No, yeah, he said they rushed him back, which I don't get. But I can also understand that Richmond's history with, as of late, regarding injuries, severe injuries at this stage is... But I don't know, I thought they were pretty conservative, Richmond with Lawler. So,
I agree.
Yeah, that's one, in my opinion, I thought Kane missed on.
Just unlucky, I would have thought. With
yeah, very
I know
unlucky.
the previous hamstring injury, and even in his under 18s, he had a hamstring injury as well. Like a myriad of injuries. But you give him the extra week off.
Yeah.
You want to play your best player, expose him to one of the best teams in the competition as well. And
you
Geelong,
do.
there's a lot of learning experiences out of that. It's just unlucky.
Well, I guess now you got to be very careful with Lawler because he is their biggest commodity at the club. So just make sure he gets through pre-season all smoothly.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and I'd say the same about Josh Smiley as well. I'd just about wipe him out.
Yeah.
Worry about it in 26.
He's listed as like 1 to 3 weeks, but it's conditioning as well. So what's the game?
He's done like 3 or 4 hammies since arriving at Richmond. Gee, just don't. Just worry about it in 26.
Richmond sold their soul for those flags. They're relatively healthy now. They've got the biggest injury list the last 2 years. A lot of them are like just unlucky ones, like ACLs, broken legs. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, they're really unlucky at the minute, and they'll probably be reviewing their strength and conditioning team come into the year, similar to your mob. So, they'll be interested to see what they do.
Yeah,
because I know we stole Richmond's high performance leader, and I think he's done a very good job at Hawthorn. So they've struggled since he.
Our guy came from your mob.
Yep.
Sean Murphy.
Yeah, is he still there?
Yep.
Well, he's gone.
He's under pressure, that's for sure.
Under pressure. Well, okay, no, I won't do that. We'll get copyright there.
What do we think about Geelong? Good? Cool?
Geelong. Oh, mate.
Jezza Cameron, 700 goals.
They're not bad. He's not bad. He's all right. He's got a future, this guy, I reckon. Jezza Cameron. He might grow up to be a very
once he
good...
learns a couple of things,
Yeah,
he could maybe win another
One
one.
day he might be able to create a YouTube channel called Outdoor Athlete.
Outdoor athlete.
Have you guys watched his fishing videos?
I've seen some of them, yes.
Yeah, very entertaining. I really like him.
He's got a budding career as a YouTuber after sports, at least.
Yeah, he does.
He's all set up post career,
He's all ready to go.
but he's not signed anytime soon.
No,
he's not. I know. I was listening to a clip of Shane Crawford and Lance Franklin's podcast before, and can he get to 1,000? He'd have to play 6 seasons and kick 50 goals.
He can do that. How old is he?
32. So
6 seasons.
Yeah, 38.
Not happening.
At Geelong, that's young.
Yeah.
He could get another 10-year contract.
Well done. I like that one. Very nice. Very nice. Right. So Brisbane v Port Adelaide. Another team got cruelled by injury this week. Port Adelaide.
yeah, the Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig gone for the season. Lear gone for the season.
What happened to Aaliyah?
I didn't see a lead. What happened?
Sorry, I apologise. Asava.
Asava, that's right.
It was Asava.
That's
Thank
not
you.
a great look.
No. What's not a good look?
No, nothing.
I got the wrong name wrong.
Two defenders.
Yeah, two defenders.
The other defender, not him. It was the other defender. Yes.
He's visibly upset doing that
was
injury as
very-
well.
yeah,
Which shows
yeah.
I want someone that bleeds for my club that really cares about it.
100%. I agree. It's tragic stuff. So, yeah, Port Adelaide, you can probably put a line through the rest of their season maybe now.
They're just there to play spoiler, I feel.
Yeah.
Like, I think they can compete against teams that are fighting for the 8, but against a Brisbane or a Collingwood or even, I don't know, Crows, they'd struggle.
Yeah,
mightily.
they'll struggle, correct. They're not in that top rung of teams anymore. There is a bit of a chasm building between the top 9 and the bottom 9. We sort of saw it this weekend perfectly. But, they're definitely in the bottom 9 bracket for sure. I can't really see them beating anyone in the top. No, they could beat Freo on their day, potentially.
Yeah. You've just got this Freo as catch-all. Like,
They beat the Giants.
They can beat Freo.
Yeah, they beat the Giants. They did beat the Giants
did.
a couple of weeks ago. That was a very impressive performance there. So, yeah, they're the banana peel team essentially now.
I agree.
From here on out, the banana peel power.
Yeah, no, they can, on their day, they can compete.
The banana pear power.
BP. And the Lions. Anything new about the Lions?
Lions been Lions.
Lions been Lions?
Yeah.
I didn't see a second of this game, so I can't help you.
More of the same from Brisbane. Their star midfielders really controlled proceedings.
Yes.
Like, very rarely do you see Dunkley, Neal, McCluggage, Ashcroft, and Levi Ashcroft all kick goals in this game.
Yes.
So the ball was just flowing around, but the Port started well. They kicked the first 2.
did.
But then there was a Brisbane avalanche. So I don't know how many avalanches they have in inner city Brisbane, but it was 36 points by the second quarter. It was 7-goal onslaught.
A summer storm.
Something like that. Yeah, they had no idea how to stop in Port, which is that's the golf and quality, of course, between the two teams.
Course.
But it was a low-pressure game with high goals. So it was entertaining watch, but they didn't learn a whole lot, I feel.
It was a concert, wasn't it?
It was just
songs blaring all night long, essentially.
I don't know what exactly was played.
It all just melts into one.
Yes.
It's just a collective noise. I don't know. Like, do you like that? Do you feel like every club should have that goals after song after goals?
No.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Same.
There's only a couple of teams. I'll give it to Brisbane
because they've started it.
They're the originators, and it's iconic now.
Just because of Country Road, let's be real.
Yeah.
I
like Gold Coast after every goal.
Yeah, no, it's
and then we stop it. Stop it. I hate it. It's my biggest pet peeve.
we're cool. We have a goal kicked at Marvel, for example, and you have the
That's fine.
the flying plane going by. That's cool. Reverberates the seats and my tongue as well, clearly, when it goes flying by. So,
and the biggest crime I've ever seen when I was in Gold Coast, when I went to
the biggest crime,
local footy, QAFL. It was
Quaffle.
Surfers Paradise versus Broadbeach, big rivalry down in Gold Coast, the two main suburbs there. I was standing with a can in my hand, and right next to me were the speakers, and they were doing goal sounds. Goal music after every goal from Surfers Paradise. What is this coming to? Bloody local footy's doing it now as well. It's a plague. It is a plague that is getting worse every year.
This is the biggest crime, ladies and gentlemen.
It is.
The biggest.
It is. I'm sorry.
You sound like Donald Trump, bro.
Don't
This is the biggest crime.
Only I can fix it. This is how.
The biggest crime.
There's deals to be made. Only I can make them. This is how I do them.
Exactly. 100%. I have the best solutions. All the solutions.
I can't believe I'm getting compared to Donald Trump. This is
The
crazy.
sleepy Gold Coast.
It is the biggest, yes.
My reputation's in the mud.
Gold Coast.
The take the 4 points. They didn't even know it was there.
Exactly. 100%.
0-0.
Oh, that's good. You're good. I love you. We need you more often. All right.
Maybe Essendon can win sometime.
Next week. Yeah, maybe. Hawks against the Saints. You were concerned about this game.
I was. And, I mean, they didn't go away. It was
Bad
just...
smell.
What?
Like a bad smell.
They just couldn't go away. St Kilda. They were right. They were just shocking when delivering the ball inside 50.
Yeah.
Just kept butchering it. That could have been a game we could have lost. But
How good is Max Hall?
Max Hall's a beauty.
You just got to give him a fair shout there.
What a pickup.
Tremendous pickup.
Wonderful pick.
What, Box Hill Hawk, wasn't he?
Yeah.
It was.
Yep.
Your
Box Hill
factory.
Yeah, the elite institution that it is. So
Who else has come from the Box Hill Hawks? Sam Blank?
Newcomb,
Blank?
Blank, Sam Gibson back in the day.
Oof.
Yeah, that's a
Blast from the past.
There was another. I'm trying to remember. Forgot. But there has been a fair few that have come through the Box Hill industry, and with St Kilda, I mean, they're on the up if they keep Wanganeen Miller up. If not,
and Tauru doing very well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the big the Flying Viking.
The Flying Viking.
Yeah.
Not Flying Ryan.
They got
his Flying Viking.
The Flying Viking.
We love saying Flying Ryan around here. For the Flying Ryan.
Flying Ryan.
Flying Ryan.
Oh, I love Triple M.
Yeah, exactly.
So they got to keep Wanganeen Miller at all costs. He was unbelievable. Best. Him and Hall were the two best players on the ground.
He's the man now back there in Isaiah. It feels like Sinclair's playing a different sort of role.
Definitely. Yeah. The numbers for Sinclair last month have just dropped away a little bit.
They have.
Nass's, 43 touches, 0-3 as well. He could have had an even bigger night on Saturday.
When I was at the game and I had was behind the goals on level 3 and my first game at Marvel for the year.
But to say, you're more of an MCC type operator.
Yeah, because I can...
What are you doing at level 3 at Marvel? This is bizarre.
Yeah, well, I'm a bit MCC operator myself as well.
Yeah.
I know we don't play as many games there, but I'm an MCC
I
member.
try to keep my Marvel visits at a limit. Once a year will do me.
Doing a Collingwood?
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of that ground. But, when full view of the game, it almost looked like there was 3 of him out there. It was just always running around, finding a way to get the ball. Sam Mitchell said after the game, we tried. We couldn't stop him. We had a few different ideas and nothing landed. So
wow,
it was just fantastic.
High praise there.
Yeah, the work rate is just incredible from Nass.
Yeah.
He just grinds you into the game.
He does, yeah. So St Kilda got to try to keep him at all costs. Shout out to Lloyd Meek. Mm-hmm. He has now broken the club record for most amount of hit-outs in a game.
Wow.
59 hit-outs on the weekend.
Oof. All the great ruckman in Hawthorn history.
Yeah. Meek's got a...
I love big boy McAvoy.
I'm a Don Scott man myself.
Don Scott man?
Yeah. Should have won the scarf tonight.
I'm more of a Brett Renouf guy.
Brett Renouf.
Premiership legend.
Yeah.
Was it Tom Campbell?
Tom Campbell?
Yes.
No, he never played for Hawthorn.
No, who's out? He had 2 ruckmen. Robbie Campbell, sorry.
No, Simon Taylor.
I'm mixing up my rucks.
Very close. Very close.
Yes.
And Robbie Campbell.
That's the one.
So we had Renouf, Taylor and Campbell.
I'm thinking about the 08 team.
Yeah. What a ruck setup that was.
But he ain't no Goldstein though. Most hit-outs
No
of all
Goldstein,
time.
no.
If you don't mind. The old gold.
Really liked how Barris played. I thought that was his best game, albeit against a pretty average forward line. But just kept plunking everything.
Indeed.
Josh Battle beat the booze and played a really good game as well.
He battled through the booze, you'd say.
Battled through the booze, yes.
Lots of alcohol.
Yeah.
Was drunk after that win, let's just say, I think.
No, it was a decent performance by the Hawks and they got a big old test this week.
Indeed, you do. This is great cracking week coming up. We'll talk about that in just the tips, of course.
We know. I think this is the most we've talked about a round coming up in
correct
every podcast. In any podcast,
this
bad this round was.
Yeah, it happened. All right, then on Sunday we had the Swans.
Oh, good game!
And the Dockers.
Game of the round.
The only upset that
happened.
happened.
We predicted that, Joe, didn't we?
Yes. Interesting way of bringing yourself into...
I said it first.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You tipped Freo.
No, but I said this will be game of the round.
Oh, you did. We agreed. Yes. Yes. I thought you were correct. I thought you were saying that we were right about the tip.
No.
Yeah, you were wrong.
Yeah, I know I was.
Good. Yeah, just making sure.
Yeah, but it wasn't what I was talking about, you idiot.
No, but I just have to have to bring it to your attention. You were wrong.
Yeah, I know. You told me already.
Yeah, just making sure. It was game of the round, and it was a cracking game of football. The stadium held up this time.
I cannot believe it.
Somehow, the stadium held up. It didn't fall. There were no elephants rampaging through. No one broken a leg because of the ground was falling apart.
Bocelli wasn't on at halftime.
Sorry?
Was there a halftime Bocelli concert?
No. No,
my big worry.
Bocelli concert there. There was a Papley. No, sorry, I can't joke about Papley. No, he did it soft. He did his hammy. Papley did his hammy. But gee, they missed Mills and they missed Goulden.
Yeah.
Like these two just changed the dynamic of this team.
Well, and the Smarty in a Marty.
The Marty Party vexes me. He'll do a lot of things right, and he'll have games where he can't kick a goal to save his life.
I swear every year the Marty Party just lowers in capacity.
It does, doesn't it?
There's not many on board the Marty Party nowadays. It's a bit of a shame. I like him.
Too many mushrooms at that party.
God.
For my liking.
The party peaked when he kicked 9 against the Crows, and it's slowly been dwindling since.
Absolutely, it has been.
But Steve's still holding the candle for him.
I don't know what it is he loves about him.
No, I just like him.
Why?
God forbid.
Yeah, why?
I don't know. I just like him as a player.
Cool looking dude.
I reckon.
Why?
I don't know.
If someone likes, I like this person, why? Because you're funny, or because you're knowledgeable, because they gave me a loaf of bread and I love bread. You know, like, there's got to be some sort of reason why you like someone.
He actually did give me a loaf of bread in 2023.
There you go.
No
See?
way.
Yeah.
It was, I know his life more than he thinks I do. More than he thinks I do.
Bloody spying on me.
Hey, it's only out of concern, all right? I see who you hang out with sometimes. It's only out of concern. So back to this game, though. Moving away from the creepy side of things there. The Swans continue on their way. They're reformed. They're the new Swans. They're not the start of the season Swans. They're now the new Swans, and they're playing with gusto. Do we think that they will continue to ruin people's chances of finals? Are they another banana peel?
They are. They're on there up there with the Port.
Or can they make it into the 8?
8 is a bit of a
well,
reach.
if we're ruling out Port and they're on the same amount of points, I think it's only fair to rule out Sydney as well.
They're 10th.
Port are on the same amount of points.
They are, but the percentage is not as good.
Yeah.
And
they got West Coast this week. They can build it back up.
Exactly. That's true. It's true. But the Swans, when they're playing like that, they're beating a top 8 side.
Yep.
And they're in 10th.
Well, top 9.
Or they're 9th now, right?
Yeah.
They were 8th before. They were in the 8 before. They knocked them out of the 8. So who knows who else they play in the 8 and then they could knock them out. So I'm willing to give the Swans a crack.
Yeah, I think they're the banana peel team for the rest of the year. But just because Mills is back, Goulden's back, they know they're such an elite kicking team. They need those two players. Like Mills going that quarterback role behind play.
Yeah.
He'll just control everything he wants back there.
Sexy to watch, isn't it?
So good.
As a non-Supercoach owner, it's awful to watch. But he's been
Sorry,
great
I'll
since he came
take that back. I don't want to rub it in.
But Errol as well. Errol, in 3 games, he hasn't missed a beat. I would have thought from a fractured ankle, you'd take some time to ramp up.
Nope.
He's looked like the old Errol.
Exactly.
And we didn't mention Grundles in this game, Brody Grundy.
No.
He was just dominant.
This guy's putting his hand up for All-Australian selection.
Did he purchase a DeLorean in Sydney? Because he's gone back to 2018. I don't know how he's doing this. He started last year strong, tapered off, and now he's come back saying, I'm going to be the best ruck in the comp for a month.
That's exactly right. Where
What
was
in
this
the
last year, mate?
2019 is this?
Exactly.
He's just become dominant. I feel like it was after our game. He just kicked that 2 goals on the run.
Yep.
And it's just like, this is shades of peak Grundy. Interesting. But he's just carried it through for the next 2 months of football. It's been unreal.
He looks younger. He looks like he's got more spring in his legs. He's kicking goals again as well. Because you mentioned goals against us. Well, that iconic goal he kicked against, was it the Crows, the Adelaide Oval? He's covering the ground better than I thought in the past.
Correct.
And the tap work. Never been a brilliant tap ruckman, but he's controlling stoppages once again.
Yeah, he is. He's it's that Bloods culture, isn't it?
Bloody Bloods culture.
Bloods culture.
Bloody Bloods culture.
Turn stone into diamonds. I was going to say diamonds into stone, but that's Carlton.
Where all good players go to die. And then we end the round with the Crom. They had to fight hard for this one. Kudos to Melbourne. They did not take a backward step. They beat Melbourne at home, Adelaide Oval, in what was a very entertaining game. 13 points in the end.
I don't get how the AFL have stuffed up the fixturing there. 2 games on a Sunday and they still clash.
Hey, you can never underestimate the AFL's ability to fuck things up.
Yep. No, I'm definitely not after hearing what the in-season tournament. We'll talk about that after.
A freaking tournament.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
We'll talk about that after Adelaide, Melbourne.
We need more games people don't care about.
Correct.
Yeah.
100%. You can't even run a freaking normal AFL home and away season with no conferences, with no relegation or anything. Just a simple 18-team
It's the hardest fixture to do in the world.
Yeah. They can't even handle a simple 18-team competition.
Do you reckon there's too many games? I reckon there is.
The season's too long?
No, I reckon there's too many games. So I'd love to see.
So is the season too long?
Yes. Oh,
So, like-
yeah. Sorry. I'm a kid at heart. Sometimes you just have to spell it out to me and I'll eventually understand what you're talking about.
You.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So the season is too long. There you go.
Yes, the season is too long.
Well, what's the solution? We all play each other once? And then we
Yeah.
have like a rivalry round? Like you
I'd
two
like that. And
showdowns?
yeah, I'd do a rivalry round. So Adelaide and Port Adelaide can still play each other twice. Like we just say, the footy in the first 10 rounds is just grouse. It's really good, nice weather, that sort of thing. The hype's still there for teams having the hope that they could do something. And then once the buys hit and then you're back at it, like we're already seeing it this year, only 9 teams realistically can make it. So I reckon there's too many games. I think the length of games is fine. But yeah, I just think there's too many games.
I just think that's recency bias.
What, with this season?
Yes, I just think this year I feel like more than any, because normally the last 2 seasons it's been very competitive up until the last round.
Yep.
Games really were consequential. I just feel like this year there seems to be more injuries to really important players than I can recall in previous years, which has seriously limited, I suppose, the bottom 9, you can say, in terms of their ability to compete on a regular basis. Like, I wouldn't say that we were really challenging, but we probably would have won more games than we have if we had a full complement, for example. Same thing with Port if they didn't have so many injuries. You know, Carlton's been hit with injuries a bit this year as well. They're a bit inconsistent. So, you know, these are 3-4 teams sort of that could have done better than they otherwise would have.
I think this year is, as you said, there is this chasm between the top 9 and the bottom 9.
Yeah.
But I look at what the NFL does, and they have like a 16 now become a 17-game regular season, and every game means so much more.
Yeah.
I do think we've got this like 6 to 8 week period where we're just trying to get through it. It's like I just want to get to August so I can see games that actually matter and have some high intensity.
Yep.
And players, like they have a million buys now. I mean, this season has gone on forever. I feel like we started in the summer, and we pretty much did with opening round.
Yeah.
So it just, I agree a lot with Steve.
It feels like last year when I was watching Sydney Hawthorn opening round, when we were first reacting to the new scoreboards on Fox Footy and Channel 7, we were going, what is this? What's going on? And yeah, it was still 30 degrees outside, and now we're in the frigid cold with, not too many good games. But I'd like to. It will never happen.
It's a winter sport.
Yeah.
Toughen up, princess.
I live in Melbourne. I've lived in Melbourne for 25 years.
So what, mate?
Yeah, you don't think I can handle the cold?
Yes, that's what you're saying.
No, it wasn't.
We're now in the frigid cold. And
No,
the
but I was
season's
just
too
talking about how
long
long
and-
it's felt like this season. I wasn't complaining about the actual weather.
It's all right. I personally think that, you know, maybe they could reduce it. Like, I don't know what the point of opening round was.
The weather or the
adding,
No
an
one
extra, adding an extra round.
We still haven't finished it yet.
Yeah,
Not aware.
opening round is going to end up being closing round as well. That's how messed up it is. So, you know, like there's no reason for that. I don't know, what? So you're thinking maybe having a shorter season and then what, a side comp?
Well,
for
not a side comp,
Mm.
but like you could do 18 rounds. Everyone plays 18 games, and then you could do 7th versus 10th, 8th versus 9th and do the little play-in tournament thing that we see across other sports.
So you like this wild card round?
I actually like the wild card idea.
It would engage teams and fan bases for a longer period, so I don't hate it.
But it would celebrate mediocrity a
That's the
little
thing.
bit. That would be the only thing. Like you would end up having a couple of teams just go, let's just make sure we get to 10th.
Yeah, we actively trying to not come in the plane.
But I see from another sense of, people complain about, we don't want to see 10th in finals. Well, if you're 7th, you should be good enough to win at home against 10th. If you're good enough, win.
Well, they have proven to be better because they finished 7th on the ladder.
Yeah, exactly.
So why do you have to re-justify yourself again?
I don't know.
Just for the sake of drama.
Yeah, just for the sake of talking.
Ratings.
Ratings.
I don't know. For me, I'm happy to watch the Bombers. If we were compared, I don't know. If you ask a Collingwood supporter right now, do you want this season shortened? Do you want to see your team win less
I'd say
games?
yes now because they'd be first.
Yeah, they're first, can rest their players.
What, in the season now, round 18?
Oh, maybe in a couple of weeks' time.
In a couple of weeks' time? Potentially. So you reckon this is more for teams that are like, I don't know, just outside the top 4, for example, trying to break in, or just outside the top 8? They obviously don't want the season to end. It depends who you're asking.
It does.
Some people might say that it's not a long enough season.
Well, say there was a play-in tournament and Essendon came 10th and we won like a 10th versus 9th or a 10th versus 7th. Would you count that as a finals win?
No.
Okay.
No, it wouldn't count as a finals win.
What is it? What is it? A home and away win though?
No, it's neither.
It's nothing. It's like the play-in. The
Well,
stats
it's like
don't count.
it's like the NBA.
It's a pre-season practice game win.
It's like the NBA. That the stats actually don't count towards anything. It's just trying to get in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to think about it. I haven't thought about this much, to be honest. I don't consider myself tired of football.
Never.
No, I'll still watch it, of course.
Yeah, so like, why are we trying to shorten it then?
I just reckon there'd be like games would mean more.
I think games are pretty important right now. The game of the season's not over yet.
What you saw
round.
last round?
It just happened to be the top 9 versus the bottom 9. But now you'll see this round that it's going to be so much more exciting.
Yeah.
But in a couple of weeks' time, we'll have more dead rubbers.
Yeah.
Potentially, if the bottom 4, every year the bottom 4 is ruled out. But, we can still see that, 10th is a banana peel, 9th a bit of banana peel,
Bombers.
4, 11 could be a banana peel. We're just bananas at this point. St Kilda
Plenty of bananas going around.
St Kilda on their day at Marvel. You could slip on St Kilda.
Yeah.
You could slip on
lose by
Melbourne.
15. Yep.
Yeah, like you can slip against Melbourne. Like Melbourne were up by 5 goals.
Melbourne
Yeah,
beat
like
Brisbane
Port
the Gabba
Adelaide.
a month ago.
They beat Brisbane at the Gabba a month.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like
But they've lost every other game besides that.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. That's what a banana peel is. A banana peel strikes when you don't expect it.
It's true.
Otherwise, you wouldn't slip on it. You don't just see a banana peel, banana peel, boob, and then you slide. That's not how that works.
That's how AI on Mario Kart does it. They just drive into it.
All right, there you go. So, yeah, thank you. That was the week that was, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Mate, it was an absolute pleasure having you, Slam.
It was an absolute honour
I was
to be
about
here.
to use your real name there,
No,
but
never-
I didn't do it. I
use
called myself.
the alias, even though I say my name all the time. But no, it was honestly really, really appreciative to be here, sitting on the bench with you two fine gentlemen.
Yeah.
It was just a great pleasure.
Was it fun?
Absolutely.
Will you do it again?
Absolutely.
We got it, ladies and gentlemen. We got
yes.
it. We got it.
What? Can I get a 7-year deal like an Essendon player?
We can work something. Yeah, we can work something. We see nods. We got nods. You talk. We don't know a guy. Talk to my guy.
So just don't do it like Carlton, no paper bags. You have to make it official.
Paper bags. Nah. Those are the good old days, mate. No, we're not in those days anymore.
Leave a thumbs up if you want Slam back.
Absolutely.
Leave a comment down below showing your love for Slam.
Exactly.
I'll be on my phone in a sec.
Yeah. Very nice to see. Guys, make sure if you enjoyed what you had to hear or see here today, please drop us a like, subscribe if you're new, and of course, follow Slam Talk Sports. His information, of course, will be in the description down below. So chuck him a subscribe if you haven't already. And stay tuned because we will be, of course, doing just the tips right after this one.
Yeah, come on.
That's exactly what I wanted from you. Well done.